All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's bi-weekly webinar. We want to welcome everybody to the call today, our friends, clients, and those who are listening in. Thank you very much for your time this morning. We appreciate the 30 minutes you're going to take out of your day to talk about and listen to what is going on in the financial world, what's going on in the financial planning world, find out what's there, find out what we need to pay attention to. There's a lot of stuff in the news right now going on. What's important to pay attention to, maybe what is not so much at this point in time. So we're going to hear from our great team members today on various topics, on the markets, planning ideas. We're also going to hear from Julie Decent today about the Gentian happenings that are going on here for the month of July that we are in right now. So as you know, we always like to kick it off and we like to go big. And so we like to begin in gratitude. And we're all going to share a little bit of gratitude that's going on in our lives right now. I'd also like to have you think about maybe what's going on in your life right now as far as gratitude goes and what you're thankful for. I know this is a one-way street, if you will, on this webinar today, but we certainly I'm going to share a study with you that a client sent to me recently about gratitude and some of the things that it does for us. You know, we always wonder, well, why do we go big? And why do we do this? And it's actually, there's some science behind it all on why we do it. Not only does it make us feel good, but it does things psychologically to us and also physically to us as well. So with going big, mine is, I'm thankful for some of the parents that we do hang around with because they actually turned us on to a camp called Camp Minikani. And we were able to get our daughter, Adriana, who's our oldest at 12, enrolled in a week-long camp it's a YMCA camp type based thing. So she's at camp this week, hopefully having a great time, a week away from the family. It's hard on us as parents, but probably pretty good for her development and her growth and her journey that she's on as well. So Zach, how about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Ken. Always a lot to be grateful for, but today specifically grateful for two things. Extremely grateful for gathering on the green this weekend. It's one of my favorite events of the year, and it'll be just amazing to get together. And I think I said it at a Christmas event we had a few years ago, but every time we get together with you, it feels like a family reunion. So this is our favorite weekend of the year to celebrate you guys, your commitment to us, and really just celebrate each other. And secondly, one of my brothers by life is getting married in September, so we're also going to celebrate him a little bit before gathering on the green. So I'll go right from that to gather on the green, but play some golf with some of my best friends and brothers by life as well. So it'll be a great weekend.
Very good, Zach. Yeah, gathering on the green. I know Julie will talk about it. Maybe Ashley is a little bit as well. But Friday night's going to be, or Saturday night is going to be great. Sunday is also a wonderful day too with the rise and shine. So looking forward to that. Julie, how about yourself? I see you on the call here. Julie, how about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Yeah, I'm grateful for the past holiday weekend that we had. I took a couple extra days off, so had a little bit of time to spend with more time to spend with family and friends, and then a couple unscheduled days where I was able just to unplug and slow down and just let the day happen. So I'm really thankful for those kind of days.
Yeah, family days and slower days are kind of nice, aren't they? So for sure. Mike, man, how about yourself?
Thanks, Ken. There's always something that happens in your life for lives in general, and it's happening to all of us in Wisconsin right now. They got to take the high road on. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm grateful for rain. As much as I'm grateful for rain, I'm grateful for umbrellas and rain boots. Hopefully, we don't need them this weekend, but we'll see what happens there. But anyways, I don't think my parents' lawn has ever looked better. I don't have one of my own to maintain, but I'm grateful for rain. I'm grateful for giving my dad something to do in his retirement right now, and that thing is cut clean and looking good. So the smell of fresh cut grass is in the air, and I'm enjoying it. Thanks, Ken.
Yeah, nice cut. A nice cut lawn looks beautiful, doesn't it? So absolutely. Ashley Newworth, how about yourself?
Thank you, Ken. I'm grateful for a great past holiday weekend also, just extra time with family and friends. And I look forward to celebrating my youngest son, Aiden, who will return 8 on Sunday when we are all at Rise and Shine. So I look forward to celebrating him there with everybody that is going to join us for Gathering on the Green as well as Rise and Shine. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, I can't believe your little guy is 8 already. That's pretty crazy. So looking forward to that birthday. Michael Birchbach, how about yourself?
Thanks, Ken. I'm grateful actually as a whole for the month of July. Not only did we just get past the 4th, which it gets celebrated a lot in the Midwest just because we have to cherish those summer days, but not only do we have Gathering on the Green coming up, but my mother's birthday at the end of the month, and just plenty of things going on. So my favorite time of the year is July and Christmas. So we'll just have to wait 5 more months after July's over to start celebrating again. But thanks, Ken.
Sounds great, Michael. Appreciate it. So yeah, so there's Go Big. So here's a study that came out recently. Keith, thank you for sending this to us. We really appreciate it. But psychologists got a group of people together, and they split the group in half, basically. And so one of the groups wrote a weekly gratitude, like what they're thankful for, what's positive in their life. And the other group kind of didn't do anything, or actually wrote about some irritations or things that are going on in their life as well. So we all have irritations. We all have that kind of stuff. So what happened after 10 weeks, it was really remarkable. The group that centered on gratitude felt more optimistic about their life and their counterparts. And the gratitude group actually saw physical changes as well. They exercised more and made fewer doctor visits than the group that focused on negative aspects of life. That is pretty amazing, if you ask me, just by thinking of the great things that are out there, things that we're thankful for. Sometimes it's easy to take things for granted, right? Sometimes we walk around and be like, we start complaining about things. And at the end of the day, it's like, holy cow, we do have a great life, and we are thankful for many, many things. So it's easy to pick out people's faults and negative things, but try to focus on that gratitude, because it has not only a psychological feature to it, but it also has a physical feature as well. And there was another study done by Kent State University, and those who took time to say thank you, like in writing to people, like remember the old days where we used to write cards to people saying thank you very much for attending, thank you much for the gift, thank you very much for the whatever it was, right? We used to write out cards like that, and it actually showed that people that did that led a more satisfied life and even decreased symptoms of depression. So guys, this stuff is really, really important to focus on. I know a lot of you do. We've been talking about gratitude here at Gentian for a long, long time, and we certainly are grateful for all of you. And we love hearing your stories about what you're grateful for as well. So just a little piece on gratitude and a little bit more of why we do it sometimes. And I thought that was a pretty interesting study to kind of bring out the light in all of it all. Because, around Thanksgiving, we do it, more so, right? But if we can do it on a consistent basis in those gratitude journals that you all have, maybe that would be a good piece if we could just take a moment per week and just write something that we're thankful for, or express it to somebody that you're thankful for as well. So that's a piece on gratitude. So today we're going to talk about the markets. So we're going to talk about planning. We'll hear some great information from the team here. We also have Ashley's acumen, I think, on the financials. No, we do not. We're not going to have that this week. So it was so good the week before that we're not going to have it this week. She gave us way too much information to handle for that. So maybe we'll go back to it in a different week. So no worries there. But let's bring up Zach DeBoer for Zach's Facts. Zach, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the markets and what you're seeing and what you're hearing from clients.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. Really appreciate it. So for the markets, as many of you may have seen or may not have seen, it's been an unbelievable year in the first 6 months of the year. So just another tremendous example of the patience required to be a great equity investor over time. And paraphrasing, but I believe it was Warren Buffett that said something similar along the lines of, really the market is a medium to shift money from the inpatient to the patient. And really just digesting all the information at the end of quarter 2 here at the end of June, really just amazing to see that strike true once again. So I'll just run through just as normal kind of what the different indices are for the year, and then share a couple facts as well that we thought were interesting. But the Dow Jones up about 4% on the year, the S&P 500 up about 17% on the year, and 12% gains since May 1st. So really unbelievable quarter 3 or quarter 2. And one thing that we're reading and finding is that people are thinking it might not be the best metric anymore for gauging how the market is actually doing, because of the extreme overweight in really 7 companies. Almost 30% of the S&P now is just over 7 companies. And we've been looking at a bunch of different things of when that happens over time, 20, 30, 40 years ago, what occurs, and looking at, does an equal weight S&P 500 actually outperform over time? So extremely interesting to digest those different ideas. The NASDAQ, which is 50% weighted towards technology, is up 23% on the year and 17% since May 1st. Both of those, the S&P and the NASDAQ, are actually at all-time highs. The Russell 2000, which really tracks the smaller size companies, which historically have produced a better return, have still lagged really over the last 2 or 3 years and is pretty much flat on the year, but a 3% gain since May 1st. And really, when we digest a bunch of different information there too, almost as undervalued as it's been in the small cap growth space since 1974. So what we're seeing is the impatience, once again, is, oh man, this asset class isn't performing that well. Let's go to large cap growth. That's what's done extremely well the last 2 years. More than likely, probably the worst time to do that. Again, shifting money from the impatient to the patient. International, actually a really good recovery here this year on that end, about 6% gain and a 6% gain since May 1st. So the year's worth of gain in the last 2 or 3 months. And then emerging markets, that's one that we really like to see do well, because that one's undervalued really since 2019, and that's up about 9% on the year. And one thing that we wanted to kind of highlight on the fixed income side of things, actually, before I do that, we read an amazing piece by Nick Murray recently, and just a great reminder that the average annual market drawdown at some point is about 14% at some point during the year. It's not where it ends up for the year, but every single year at some point, really since 1950, have an annual drawdown of about 14%. So everyone has kind of the fear of missing out of, oh my gosh, look at all these amazing returns happening. Just remember, market corrections are normal and necessary, and we haven't had, our annual drawdown yet, if you will. On the fixed income side of things, we looked through some different reports and saw that there's the most cash on the sidelines ever. So a lot of that has to do with the interest rates and how good it feels to get a 5% return on our cash as of late. And in Nick Murray's article, talked about that there's $6 trillion in money market right now, 2 or 3 trillion in CDs. And what kind of almost made us sick to our stomach when we saw it is that 4 trillion is actually in checkable deposits receiving 0% interest. So really between all of those 12, 13 trillion dollars just in cash. And a speculation, never know as far as future facts go, but historically, when rates are at that for cash around 5%, and then let's say the Fed lowers rates and now it's 2 or 3%, it doesn't feel as good to us. There could be a lot of money flowing to the markets and really kind of feeding this bull market, if you will. So with that, Ken, I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. I read the same article as you by Nick Murray. You'll see in a couple of weeks, I believe it's like three or four weeks when we send out the next one for Nick Murray. You'll see a really nice article about rebalancing. We talked about it so much. He does a really, really nice job of explaining a little bit more of the why and why it works the way it does. And because if you think about this is the time to be really disciplined. When you have one asset class just completely on a tear right now, and a lot of people get really caught up in all that, because what we're telling you guys is to rebalance, which we know in the long run is the best thing for you. Because if we think about that, say like small cap growth, like Zach talked about, as a category, right? As a strategy. You think about this, the way that sounds to somebody, if you actually verbalize what rebalancing is, it sounds like it's not right, because it says, hey, let's trim back a little bit what's doing well, and let's buy what's not doing so well. If you verbalize that to anybody on the street, to your friends, to your neighbors, your coworkers, they would probably look at you and say, you probably need a new advisor, because why would you want to do that? And we know the reason why, the reason why is because we need to trim back those categories that run so much, because we know they don't run forever. So this is the key time. It's always key, but it's getting to be more key to stay disciplined and stay patient in all this, because it really is something really interesting that's happening when we have these huge disparities between asset classes. It really is the time to stay extremely disciplined in that. So we know you are. Yeah, I know that you know that. So just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. One of those fundamental pieces, if you will. So it's really interesting. Zach mentioned about the S&P 500 and really kind of a tech weighted type of thing right now. And I just saw a really interesting article on artificial intelligence. And I think we're probably just in like maybe 2 steps into a 10-mile race type of thing on artificial intelligence. And this one was pretty unique. I saw Reddit, and I actually saw a commercial about this. So listen to this on artificial intelligence. Everyone can benefit from this one. Have you ever been at home and you're looking around, you go through the fridge, you kind of looking at it, you're like, I'm not sure what to eat. You go in the pantry and you're like, man, I'm not really finding anything good here. So there is artificial intelligence can help with that. And this is what I saw. It can take a picture of what is in your refrigerator already. You just open it, snap a picture, artificial intelligence will create a recipe with what you already have in your refrigerator. Now, I don't know about you all, but I find that absolutely remarkable. And I find that to be very helpful in that pinch where you're like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to eat. Instead of going for that bag of chips or something like that, right? We can actually make something a little bit more healthy with the celery that's in there and then whatever else is in there, right? So a great way to use artificial intelligence to make a meal for yourself.
And then we just need the robot to make it for us then, because I find that the hardest step for myself.
Yeah, then it's making it, right? Well, then you always say if someone else makes it, it tastes better for you, right? So we do need to find that robot to make it. So absolutely. So that's a little piece on artificial intelligence, which you heard from us in the past, and you're starting to hear it all the time right now, especially in the corporate America setting, if you will. So fair enough. Let's talk about some other pieces of planning. Mike Mann, what do you have in store for us today?
Thanks, Ken. You guys pretty much laid it up for me in a lot of different ways here. It's not very often that I have to start writing notes about what I want to talk about because it continues to grow as you guys are speaking on things. So I love it. First and foremost, I will say about that robot that could be cooking for us someday, as long as it can take care of those hand wash dishes, I'll be pretty excited to introduce it into the home. But anyways, we'll keep painting the fence.
Do you know what that robot's called? It's called Mike Mann. Yep, that's the robot.
Hey, I am happy to do so, and I try to be consistent, so I'll take that as a compliment. So I appreciate that, Kenny. Anyways, so Zach talked about a lot of really good things here, and one of the things, and Ken alluded to this too, talking about the tech sector and different things like that. And one of the reasons why it's so interesting and it could potentially create a problem that the S&P 500 becomes so overweight to 7 different companies is because they all have very high correlation. So what does that mean? It means that they move similarly. When certain market conditions happen, they all kind of go up at the same time. Now, granted, there's going to be exceptions here and there because they are individual companies, and individual companies have company risk. Something can happen behind the scenes that nobody can foresee from the outside looking in, and that could put them in a position that it could go down even when market conditions are favorable for them. That being said, all of these have high correlation. They move in the same way in certain macro conditions. And that being said, the thing that we have to be very careful about when you have overweights, and this is the idea of diversification and the importance of having a portfolio that spans sectors, not just companies, but sectors, because sectors all have their day. They have their time that they outperform in comparison to everyone else. We have the charts to back it up. We go through it enough. I'm always happy to continue to do it with you, and we will again in the future. But when you have individual companies that move in the same direction, something like 2022 can happen. And I'm going to Ryan actually this morning. Chris recently asked for a report doing some comparisons of indexes versus the Magnificent Seven. And we ran that report this morning, and I'll leave most of it to him to bring up whenever he would like, but something interesting. So, and another thing I want to bring up is fear of missing out, because this is one of the problems with it when things start to run, that euphoria happens and people get in. Well, in 2022, the Magnificent Seven, down over 50%. We saw a 50% drawdown in the 7, what is now considered of the greatest companies in the entire world. Regardless, they're still great companies. They've obviously had a recovery since then. It could be a buying opportunity when such a thing happens, but this is the risk we take. And when 50% of 30% of the S&P 500, if that were to happen again and go down, imagine what that's going to have an effect on the overall market conditions and the index itself. So we want to make sure that we have exposure to these companies, and we allow our managers that we choose to invest your hard-earned money in to make those decisions in a way that is productive to you in your retirement. But we're also monitoring to make sure we're not too overweight. And by having a diversified portfolio and sticking to this plan, it gives us ways to find some sunshine through the clouds if that were to ever occur in the future. So thanks, Ken. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, the insight on all that. It's very helpful, and hopefully the listeners and our clients can really kind of, kind of take that in and see what that feels like and what that means for them. So absolutely. Michael Birchbach, how about yourself?
Thanks, Ken. I wanted to keep it really, really simple today and talk a little bit about just keeping the big picture perspective. Some of you may know there's a really big convention coming to Milwaukee next week. So politics may be at a little bit more of the center of our focus, especially locally than usual. Of course, it can be tough to see markets be really volatile, especially in election years, especially in the early years of retirement. But we want to focus on what we can and can't control. We can't control what the markets do, whether it's good, bad, what the results are, who gets elected. But one thing historically, 83% of election years, the S&P 500 has had a positive return. So the majority of the time, and of course this doesn't speak for this year or future years, the majority of the time we do have an election, the S&P actually finishes the year positive. What we can control, the amount we take from the portfolio and our spending. We can set realistic goals, and we can stick to that plan that we've created together. Because success is measured by meeting those goals and that plan that we had set, not the desire to beat the market or get in and get out at the right time. Thanks, Ken.
Yeah, Michael, that's well said. And yeah, it's a very simplistic but meaningful message there. So if you are downtown this coming weekend or whenever this convention is, I think it's this weekend, right? Just be really careful. Just be really careful. A lot of people, a lot of amped up people probably, right? So both ways. So just be careful. Take care of yourself. Be safe. We care about you guys, so make sure that you are safe and you do that. So, this webinar wouldn't be the same if we didn't have one dad joke, don't you think? So, did you hear about the ice cream truck accident? Yeah, it crashed on a rocky road. So, with summertime and everybody eating ice cream and going out for those, I thought that was appropriate for the summertime. So, and the other one was the camping one. I heard a lot of you are camping right now, and so I was talking to someone recently, and I said, "Tell me about your most recent camping experience," and they said it was intense. So there you have it. There's a few dad jokes for you. Let's get on to something a little bit more serious on some of the events going on this weekend, Gathering on the Green. So Ashley is going to save, instead of saving you money today or making you more money, she's going to save you on time if you do decide or are attending the event with us. Here comes some details that I think you're going to appreciate. So Ashley.
Thank you, Ken. Yes, just wanted to bring light to a couple of details. All tickets will be sent out by the end of day today. So if you haven't already got your tickets, they will be coming to your email inbox shortly. So for Saturday, we look forward to welcoming those guests that have already RSVP'd. We are going to have a very full, which is great to see so many faces. We look forward to this in the VIP Village for Gathering on the Green. And again, we will be watching the Beatles and the Stones this Saturday, which is July the 13th. Parking gates will open at 4:30 p.m. So please come anytime around then. We just wanted to point out the fact that Highland is a 2-lane road. So expect give some extra time for entry into the park. If you are coming from either south or north on 43, 43 is under construction. Highland exit is currently closed, so you will have to get off at Port Washington Road if you are coming from the south and heading north. Again, Mequon Road exit is also closed, so that's why we are kind of giving the heads up to get off very early on Port Washington Road and come up Port Road to Highland Road. So just pay attention to those construction zones. And again, just allow yourself a couple of extra minutes for entry into the park. Please come in the East Gate entrance for Rotary Park, which is here in Mequon, as that is where the VIP parking pass for Saturday evening will allow you to park. So you get some closer parking options as well as some more blacktop space parking spots. There is handicap parking for those that need it. So please just pay attention and let the parking attendants know that you will need that service. Again, our Gentian VIP tent will open at 4:30 to welcome guests. Of course, we will have refreshments, lots of food options throughout the evening. We will have private restrooms and again, just lots of camaraderie, and we look forward to everyone joining us for Saturday evening. Also wanted to share just a couple of details for those that are joining us for Rise and Shine, which is on Sunday, of course, July the 14th. The park will open at 11:30 a.m. Parking gates, I do believe, will probably open at 11, but they are not opening the actual gates into the area until 11:30. And music will begin shortly after that at 12 p.m. with Windy Hope. And then Unspoken, of course, will kick off at 1:15 p.m. So that was just a little bit of a time adjustment from the original. So I wanted to point that out. No parking pass is needed for Sunday. And again, those tickets will be in your email by the end of the day today. If you have any additional questions, of course, reach out to our team, myself, or even Jenny. We are here to answer your questions. And again, we look forward to a great event this weekend. And we look forward to seeing so many faces over Saturday and Sunday. Ken, back to you.
Ashley, thank you very much. That was great. That was a great rundown. Thanks for the overview, some helpful hints there on all that. So we look forward to seeing you this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. And like Mick Jagger says, you know, once you start me up, I'll never stop. And so we're going to be seeing a lot of that this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, all right, Julie, I'd like to hear from you on the happenings here at Gentian. So please let us know what is going on and what we can look forward to.
Perfect. Thanks, Ken. Yes, as Ashley mentioned, we're excited about this weekend with Gathering on the Green. So again, she went over a lot of the details, but just make sure that if you did RSVP to watch for those, the email with the parking pass, the tickets, and additional details. So we're really excited to enjoy some good music and have some good conversations with everyone attending. So again, Saturday the 13th is the Beatles versus the Stones, and Sunday is the Rise and Shine with Unspoken. So again, we look forward to seeing those that have RSVP'd. Hopefully the weather cooperates, so we have a good weekend. The next day is our one and only Lisa Sheridan's birthday, July 15th. So we wish her a very happy birthday and hope she has a wonderful day. Then on Wednesday, July 17th, our office will be closed in the morning now from 9 to 12:30 as we focus on getting better for you. So we will return any calls or emails after that wraps up early afternoon. Then on Sunday, it's our Michael Birschbach's birthday. So we also wish him a very happy birthday on Sunday, July 21st. And we will be celebrating Lisa and Michael's birthday on Wednesday, July 24th at our July birthday luncheon. So we look forward to celebrating those two and then all of our July birthdays. So if you do have a birthday in July and you have not RSVP'd, you can still do so. And just remember to send us a picture of a younger you. So we enjoy looking at those. Also on July 24th is our next Gentian bi-weekly update. So make sure to register for that. And then finally wrapping up July, we're excited about this because for ladies and Gentian, it's actually going to be an in-person session. Pickleball has really kind of picked up in popularity. So we're going to learn a little bit about pickleball, how to play. If you haven't signed up, please do so. It's going to be a fun session. We look forward to having an in-person session. It's been a while. So please RSVP for that. So that's Wednesday, July 31st. That's going to be at the River Club in Mequon at 10 o'clock. So if you have any questions about that, just reach out. So that's it, Ken.
Thank you, Julie. Appreciate it. That one's going to be fun. We'll play a little pickleball, learning the game a little bit. So yeah. Make sure you bring your shorts and tennis shoes. That's going to be a fun day. So that sounds great there. So we want to thank you very much for attending this webinar with us today. We appreciate you. We thank you for your trust and confidence. We appreciate the introductions that you've given us over the years, your family members. We deeply appreciate that. We really enjoy spending time with you. We really enjoy doing your financial planning with you. It's something that we love, and we love the relationships that we've created with you as well. And we really appreciate all of you. So thank you very much for your time, your attention today. And you guys all have a great day. And from our galactic headquarters here in Mequon, Wisconsin, we sign off today. Have a wonderful day. Have a good rest of your week. Thank you.